what is the girl thinking as she's thinking about her future, while others are like, oh my gosh, ubiye korbe na, beshi qualified hoye gele ki hobe.
I mean, those
Baba
are your exactly. Those are so that's not the crew I grew up with,
No,
right?
clearly.
It's more about the ambition of a girl versus a guy in this new generation where money is not a problem. They're super wealthy. And the idea is, well, I don't really have to worry about it because if shit fails, I can always go back to
I
my
can go back.
family business.
Yeah, from a guy's perspective.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that easy for a girl to just be like, maybe, like, if their family's like that, she'll take on the family business. But
well, if they're only gonna get 1/3, fuck that shit.
Well, but that's where, like, you know, and then you marry someone who you're like, hey, are you gonna work for my, you know, dad's business or whatever,
Ooh,
family business? You could do that too,
that'd be
you know.
awkward.
Well, people do that. I mean, in Bangladesh,
My
I see it all
father
the
is your
time.
boss.
Right? No, I see that all the time.
Yeah, well, if they were gonna have like a Jamai that came here from a very different family socioeconomic background, but they're here, like for her to stay and live out her independent life that she was building, she'd
Yeah.
probably have to marry a guy here that's not from a similar background, that made his way. And then the dynamic would be really different.
So are you upset that
to
that's their
them.
choice?
right?
That's
So
their choice.
yeah, like so what is it? What
What's
bothers
making
you?
you
The
mad?
fact
What bothers
that
you?
they wasted their
No,
degrees.
and I'm like, but if she wants to be like a neuroscientist, like that's like, and she's doing it, internships and this and that. I'm like, who? What is? Why would she? Why would she go back?
But who's asking her to go back? Is her mom asking her to go
Well,
back?
her mom
Like,
wants her to marry Muslim, Bangladeshi.
but isn't that a normal?
No, but
like,
also from like a Boroluk family like them.
But I'm sorry, every one of us hope that for our children that they marry within the same socioeconomic status. That like you know
yeah,
they're.
I guess.
But at that,
Yeah, I mean it's
I
normal.
don't even know what that.
That's a slim picking. That's a slim picking.
Right, right. But
That's
I
a slim
remember
picking
when
in the West.
but it was a similar thing where like, oh, you pressure your kids to do really well in school, go to the best school, right? Like, so I had a cousin who graduated from Harvard, and then she's becoming a doctor, and it's like, how do you find someone who's the same match? Like, it must be from Ivy League, must be a doctor, like that. But I think that's a normal, you know, expectation from parents that they should end up with the same
It is, but I feel
type
like
of people.
that they're more likely that, like in our generation, in our time, to have found. She's more likely to have meet a guy like her in school.
Yeah.
I don't know who she's gonna find here, because now it's like a lot of Bangladeshis are students, but they're all born and raised here, and she can't get along with them. That's very different for her.
Yeah.
Like it's a very nuanced situation.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's why the whole like you have to be within the same socioeconomic status, all that stuff matters, right? Like even I remember when we were all kind of at that age of like, oh, it's time for us to get married, and they, you know, the families would find the boys. And a lot of times I would always say that like I don't think it's a good match to find a guy that grew up in Bangladesh and many times went to Bangladeshi like Bangla medium and to, you know, connect them, yeah, to then, you know, get them married to a girl who was born and raised here, had a very different, you know, like it's very different. It's nothing against the two systems, but you have to have things in common in that sense. And you know, people would say, no, well, that doesn't matter. Like they'll have other things in common. But I think those nuances make a huge difference.
Yeah,
but girls can adjust, and so that's where I'm going. It's like,
well, why can't guys adjust? What do you mean by that?
That's not the expectation. They're not raised
because that's the thing where
Yeah.
dilo.
But that
but
I
that's
think those
that's it. The expectation is not to adjust.
yeah, but similarly, I don't think it's a good idea for someone to marry another person who comes from a very different background and socioeconomic status. I don't care how much you're in love with them, at some point that catches up. You're raised with very different values in many cases.
Yes.
And it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Like
how about people who are marrying like interracial marriages and
No,
stuff.
so that's, I mean, I'm a great example of someone like,
You're the perfect
while
example.
You are.
while I married a completely different culture, I think from like a background,
Values.
it was a very similar background,
That's
right?
it. Like race, gender, all those things, like all of that goes out the window, I think, when it comes to like
It's,
these
yeah,
the values that come from the socioeconomic status you grow up in.
right.
It's
I
so
think it's, or it's a much harder, um,
curve.
yeah, exactly. Like you are constantly fighting for your, marriage because it's so different. Like, or the way you guys grew up were so different that,
Economic.
But I think it's easier for women to handle that
They're
socioeconomic,
expected.
than for a man. Let's say if the woman was,
Wealthier.
was wealthier.
but I wonder, ultimately, are they happy? Having to adjust and basically adjust down. So we're talking about a girl who comes from a very rich family and is now having to adjust down to her spouse's
I think
standard of
it can
living.
work. It could work.
What if like you're used to a certain level of privilege, right? Your
Right.
husband can only afford to buy you like a coach economy ticket to go
Right.
visit Bangladesh. But then your parents say that no, Myanmar
We'll
bachi ke
pay the
China,
difference.
we'll pay the difference. How do you feel as the man?
Well,
or the
as
girl.
There should
as
be a
the
poll.
so that's the spouse, as a responsible spouse, you would say no, thank you, parents. I'm fine
But what if
playing
that's what the girl
coach.
wants?
If that's what the girl wants, then she should not be in a relationship with someone who can't afford it. I mean,
Oh
then
man.
you're a fucking idiot. Like, why? Is the guy hot? Like, what? Why are you marrying someone below your standard of living? You cannot be a freaking princess and, have it all
Expect, yes.
and then
I
expect,
think that's it.
What is it?
yeah.
You can't have it all.
You can't have, I mean, that's life. Any example you use, you can't have it all. And anyone that says you can is full of shit.
Yes, I think that's what it is.
You have
Oh.
to choose. You have to balance what your priorities are and what you're not willing to give up at all
Yeah.
versus things you can sacrifice. And
Yeah.
if this bitch ain't gonna fly economy, then she don't need to get married.
Yeah. I told you. And now like being married once and being all these things and like living through the kind of the climb to get to kind of where you are in your
Yeah.
career, I'm like, okay, like I'm good. I'm comfortable. I'm fine. No, but I kind of mean it. Like if it was somebody I loved enough and wanted to be with enough that didn't make as much money now as I do, like whatever. But I think we're at that age.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. What would you do
Let's
if you were to be with a guy who didn't want to work and just wanted to be home and make music and just like tung tang bajabe and not actually like make music, but like,
I
you
would
know,
not be okay with that at all. I can
how would
tell
you
you.
feel?
I don't know. Again, if I really wanted to be with them, I think I would.
And that's when I wonder, eventually, does that get to you? Because a lot of people
It
make
might
these decisions where they're like, it's
Yeah.
love, like I
love.
can do anything. And then ultimately you're starting to see like I'm working my ass off. And this
Mhm.
guy is just sitting here playing his
Tung
fucking
tang
ukulele. I would be like, bro, do something.
Do something.
Good God, I hope they're cooking then, like making
But
dinner
that's what
and
I'm
taking
saying.
care of the
Nope.
Like
house.
I would.
Then
That's again.
hell no. Hell to the no.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like I would know if they're mooching early on, but if they have genuine intentions, they're not just cooking, but it's like, you know what? I'll try this and like I'm working towards something. Like maybe
But
that can make
ultimately,
it.
then it's not
And it
towards
doesn't work out.
anything.
Okay. What if they love you and they're great in bed and they
Oh,
just shower you with so much love, but they don't cook or clean or pick up all their laundry or anything
no,
like that?
unacceptable.
And they're playing video games all day and you're
Unacceptable.
going and working.
Absolutely
But they love
not.
you a lot.
No, that's not love.
And they're
Oh
That's
really
not
snap!
good in
love.
bed. Still?
No, that's not love.
You can just pay someone for that, Maya.
All of
God.
that.
You don't need to get married for that.
Yep. And I'm learning that. Like, I have someone to cook for me, clean for me. If I wanted, I could ask someone to. All of these things you can pay for. But that's not love. That's what I'm
But
saying.
that's not genuine love, though. But what if he
No.
genuinely loves you?
Then that's different.
I
That's
get.
what I'm
I
saying.
think
Then I
it's
would be okay with it because
well.
you know they're
Bush-
doing, they're trying
Bush
to
was
make
like,
up for it in
fuck
other
that
ways.
shit.
No, I
He
think
doesn't
it's
buy it.
well. Here's the thing. Still goes back to what are your priorities,
Intentions and priorities.
and if it doesn't align with yours, then you won't be okay with it. Like I know I would not be okay with me being super driven and ambitious and working my ass off, being with someone who's still trying to figure out life and trying to pursue their passion. Unless I know that there is a timeline and I have a hard deadline of like, by this day, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. If it's like, oh my God, I love you, just pursue your passions, don't worry about money. I don't come from that kind of money to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe some of these families you're talking about, that works,
But
where it's
that's what
like
I'm saying,
daddy's
though.
business and whatever.
But that's what I'm saying. At a different life stage, if it's about companionship, wouldn't you just make? I could make it.
I would have to be much older. Like having like at this point in our lives where you have younger kids and there's a lot of, expectation, commitment, like you have to take care of your children, like all that stuff, right? Like I couldn't do that. I need someone, that I can rely on. He would do something, but then you have to ask yourself, is it to your level of like the way your lifestyle?
Mm-hmm.
I have my money to make my lifestyle work for me.
Yeah. But then that's where it comes back to is the other partner, in this case a male, okay with that drastic difference?
Yeah, I think it's harder for men to accept that.
That's it. Yeah. Like I'll be fine. If it's like that genuine level of
I think you're fine right now because this is hypothetical. I think in
Totally.
reality, I think it's going to be really
I feel like
hard.
get off your ass.
Yeah, because I think biologically we have this need to be taken care of in certain ways,
That's
whether
the
it's
other
emotionally.
thing.
Very good point.
That's a great point of looking at this. Because also being taken care of, is that an emotional thing or a more not financial, I can't think of the word, like materialistic thing?
But
I think
still,
it's a big
like
mix of
I
both.
would want to be taken. Like take me out. Like
Yeah.
use your money.
Yeah.
Not my money.
This bitch is okay with all that, but take me out with your McDonald's fucking paycheck. I'll take you out, dude. Lay out a freaking towel outside. Throw in some Pop-Tarts.
Oh God.
Oh my God, you're
There's
totally right.
no way. There's no way, Mary. Like I sound like an asshole.
No,
but,
you're right.
You're right.
But I have come to a point in my life where I know that is. I just know it would not be okay. I would not be okay.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, you're right. No, don't take me out with my money.
Right.
Yeah. Here's a gift for you with my money.
With your credit card.
Even with my kids, like I'm like, okay, Mother's Day rolls around, or my birthday rolls around. And I'm like, make me something. I'm not giving you money to buy me a fucking gift.
Right.
Draw something. Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You would totally not be okay with it. Look at her, totally in denial about it.